So, I'm going to start over. Last week we talked about solving quadratics by graphing and by factoring. Today we're going to solve by taking square roots. The thing about solving by taking square roots is our b value has to be 0. B value has to be 0. So I note b value, that's not how you spell value. There you go. Must be 0. B must be. I see that. I see what you did there. B must be 0. All right. So for example, number 1, I've got x squared equals 25. X squared is 25. So how do I unsquare x to get x by itself?
Divide.
Not divide. Not multiply. What's the inverse? What's the inverse of squared? Look at your calculator. It's the same button.
Oh,
This is square root. So we're going to take the square root of x squared and the square root of 25. But remember what we just saw in the warm-up? We could have the negative and the positive, right? So we're going to do something called plus or minus the square root of 25. Do you need paper, Marcus? Do you need paper? Okay. All right, so the square root of x squared is x equals, we have plus or minus, what's the square root of 25? 5. And that works because when x equals 5, well, 5 squared is 25, right? And when x equals negative 5 times negative 5 is also positive 25, right? There we go. So you can write your answers like this, or I will accept them like this. That's it. Is that okay? Y'all ready for another one?
Yeah.
All right, let's try another one. Example 2. I have 7x squared equals 21. Example 2. 7x squared equals 21. You need paper for your notes today. Paper for your notes. Paper for your notes. Notes are on paper.
We're the only people doing this?
Yes. All right, y'all ready? 7x squared equals 21. Xavier, you ready?
Yeah.
So, what's the first thing I have to do to get x by itself? Amy, subtract 7? Not subtract, but yes, we got to move 7, but not by subtraction. Division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 7. So I have x squared is 3. Beautiful. X squared is 3. So next, what do I do? Square root. We're going to take the square root of both sides. And remember, when I take the square root, we have to do plus and minus, right? Plus and minus. So I'm going to have x equals plus and minus. What's the square root of 3? Use your calculator. Ooh, it's an irrational number because it's a decimal that keeps going forever, right? Is that what y'all see in your calculator? So let's go ahead and round to 2 decimal places. 1 point, what do y'all get?
8.
2 decimal places. 7. 1 more decimal place. 3. So x, we're going to approximate to positive 1.73. Next is about, you know what, we could say about, right? Let's say about negative 1.73. So that's much more accurate.
Why are they wiggling on?
Because that means about. Remember? It's about. Instead of equals, it's almost equal. It's really close to equal.
Do you have to put that squiggly line?
Yeah, because they didn't ask us to round, right? Yeah. Unless I ask you to round to 2 decimal places, then you'd put an equal sign. But I would accept either one. All right. What do y'all think?
Oh, instant comment.
Try another one?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do example 3. P squared plus 5 equals 21. P squared plus 5 equals 21. All right, so what's the first thing I need to do to get P by itself? We got to subtract 5. So now I've got P squared equals, what's 21 without 5?
No.
16. All right. That's what I thought you meant. Then what do I do? The square root to get P by itself, right? And when I take the square root of 16, we have to do what? Add and subtract that, plus or minus, right? So that's going to give me P equals plus or minus 4. So P equals 4. P equals negative 4. Ooh, so then we would add 5 to both sides, right? And then we'd have to take the square root of 26 instead. Good question. Very nice. All right, y'all ready for another example? I think the next one, instead of 2 steps, I made it 3. You ready? Example 4 says 2m squared plus 10 is 210. All right, so what's the first thing I got to do here? Subtract 10 from both sides, right? So subtract 10 from 10, subtract 10 from 210. So that's going to give me 2m squared is 200. Okay, and then?
Then you divide by 2. Yeah, you divide by 2.
That's it. Because then if we divide by 2, that gives us m squared is 100. And then to get m by itself, we got to take the square root. And don't forget your plus or minus. So m is plus or minus 10. DeMarcus, you're exactly right. Just don't forget your plus or minus because we have to have m is negative 10 and m is positive 10. Yes? We gotta have both. All right. Excuse me. Nope. Okay. Example 5. This one's a little different. So I've got 5r squared minus 7 equals 488. Yes, ma'am. Ooh, the positive first or the negative first? Not at all. If you want an order, I would do negative to positive, smallest to biggest, but I'm not that picky. All right, so we've got 5r squared minus 7 equals 488. So we've got to add 7. You're exactly right, Miss Robin. So that's going to give me 5r squared is, see here, that's 495. Beautiful. All right, and then divide by 5, divide by 5. So r squared is 99. And then what? Take the square root. If I do plus or minus, so r equals plus or minus, what's the square root of 99? 9.94. Beautiful. And we could do the about there also, right? It's about 9.94 plus or minus. Control squared. So control, good question. The yellow control button?
Yeah, I see it.
You see it? There you go. Good question. All right, I got one more example for us. Just one. And that's it. One more, and we're done. You ready? And then we're going to try it on the whiteboards. Then we're going to do some practice. Yes, whiteboard practice day. Best Tuesday ever. All right, 2k squared minus 2 equals 144. All right, so what's my first step? Plus 2 to both sides. So then I have 2k squared is 146. And then? Divide both sides by 2. So k squared is 73. All right. Then Ryan, what's the square root? Because we have to do square root, right? What's the square root of 73? Use your calculator.
8.54.
No. Squeeze it. Control first. There you go.
8.54.
Good job. There we go. Yes? We got this? Y'all ready to practice? Fantastic.